What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you through another full body strength workout, but with an extra emphasis on being knee friendly, because I think a huge misconception is that as soon as your knees start hurting, you have to either stop working out or at least stop working out your lower body. And of course, every type of knee pain is different. Some knee pain is more serious than others. I do recommend you get to check it out, especially if it's something that's persisting. But once we know what it is, there's no reason that we can't move our bodies or that we can't at least scale our workouts to work better for our bodies. So today's workout is going to be focusing on exercises that put little to no strain on the knee joint while also strengthening weak points that can typically contribute towards knee pain. So strengthening your glutes, strengthening your core, and an extra emphasis on hip and ankle stability. This workout will be effective regardless of whether you struggle with knee pain or not. So if you do struggle with knee pain, hopefully this will help you get to a place where you're struggling with it less. And if you don't struggle with knee pain, this will help injury-proof your knees and can still be challenging as long as you're using a challenging weight. The way today's workout is going to work is we'll have 6 exercises broken down into 3 supersets, each superset alternating between an upper body and a lower body exercise. Repeat each one times 3 for a total of 30 minutes. I will explain the form as we go, so for now all you need is yourself, your body, a bit of room to move around, a heavier weight, a lighter weight, and that is it. So if you're ready to get started, make sure to shoot me a thumbs up and let's get into it. Getting into our first superset, we're going to be supersetting a standing good morning with a split stance dead stop row. So getting into that good morning position, I'm going to show you without weights first. Feet shoulder or hip width apart. We're going to make sure that we are starting from a nice stacked position. So that means head over shoulders, over hips, over ankles, not toes. From here, what we're going to do is we're going to sit back at the hips, allowing the knees to bend. So we can keep sitting those hips back, making sure we're keeping alignment and lengthening through the spine. When we have sat our hips back all the way to return to the starting position, we're going to squeeze our glutes, squeeze our hamstrings to come back to here. When I add the weight, it's going to look like this. I'm just going to put the weights on my shoulders, gently holding them in place. Big breath, sitting it back, keeping that core tight. This is really going to challenge your core, holding the weights as we are, and then squeezing it back up. So that is a standing good morning. From there, what we're going to do is the split stance row. So getting into kind of like a warrior pose position if you're familiar with yoga. We're going to gently bend this front knee as we reach down towards the ground. The weight's going to be around in line with your foot. And then from here, we're going to row the weight up. So just like that. Again, keeping the core tight, keeping it strong, and making sure we're fully releasing the dumbbell onto the ground with each rep. So we're starting from a dead stop. We get a little bit of knee stabilization without putting a ton of stress on the knee joint, because we're off. Starting at that good morning, let's go. All right, 15 seconds to get into position for that row. I'm going to be starting with my left leg in front, weight in the right hand, so getting our legs split. Reaching in for that dumbbell, because we're off in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Needs a little bit of extra support. Feel free to put your arm across it to help stabilize. Okay, switching sides, going right into the other side on that split stance row. have got 30 seconds on the clock to catch our breath, get some water, get a towel, get a tissue, do whatever you need to do, because then we're going back right to this superset. So, big breath, march it out with me if you want to. I like to stay moving between sets, or else I feel like I get stuck, I get stiff, things get stale. Let's keep those knees moving, let's keep the blood pumping, because we're gonna go with that good morning. In, right hook and now, let's do it. Seconds to get into position for that split stance row. So getting into that nice kind of warrior-like position. Remember, you can put your elbow down if you need to for a little extra stability. I'm gonna try not to because we are off. Let's do this. To the other side, switching your legs, switching your grip on that split stance row. Okay, weights down, 30 seconds on the clock to recover from that last set. I know it gets a little bit tiring when we have these single side exercises. Something I do want to note before we go back to those good mornings is if you're feeling it in your low back, drop the weight, focus on that hip hinge. That is almost always the issue. So as a reminder, we are not bending forward. We are not arching down. We're sitting back at the hips while keeping this part of our body as stable as possible through the core, because we are off. Last round of this superset. 15 seconds to get to our split stance row. Let's get that nice split stance position, feeling strong, feeling stable, putting our elbow down if we need to, because we are off. of this workout, going into our next superset, what we're going to be doing is a straight leg lunge, which I'm going to explain that in a sec, superset with a standing overhead press. So looking at that straight leg lunge, because I know there are a lot of lunge variations, can irritate the knees. This one's going to put a lot less stress on the knee. So starting feet just about shoulder width apart, shoulders over hips over ankles. What we're going to do is if I'm starting on my left leg, that's my working leg, I'm going to hinge at the hips, sitting back at the hips, keeping this leg straight. I'm going to go down as far as I am comfortable. So depending on your knee pain, if you are experiencing knee pain, that may be here. If you don't have knee pain, that may be here, or that may even be here, okay? The key is that this back leg is staying straight, and the way that we are lowering is by first hinging at the hips, then only allowing this knee to bend as is needed for these hips to hinge back with the back leg. So when I add weight, the way this is gonna look, I'm gonna hold the weight in the opposite hand from the leg that is working, standing tall, hinging back at the hips, just like that. All right, you can do this without weight if you want, but if you are feeling up to it, I recommend adding a weight. The standing overhead press is gonna be just as it stands, standing tall, legs straight, core tight, glutes engaged, just like that. Making sure not to let that back arch, because we are off. Starting with the straight leg lunge, let's go. All right, we're gonna move right on over to the other side for the straight leg lunge, switching to the right side. Seconds to move into that standing overhead press. I am going to switch to my lighter weights. Feet shoulder width apart, core strong, glutes engaged, no back arch because we are off. Putting the weights down, we've got 30 seconds on the clock until we go into our next round of this superset. Something you may have noticed about this straight leg lunge is that it looks really easy, but when you actually go to do it and coordinate, like lifting the leg up, hinging the hips back, making sure that we are hinging the hips to pull that leg backwards instead of moving the knee, requires a lot of coordination, a lot of stability, which will help you regardless of if you suffer from knee pain or not, because we are off. Let's do this. to the other side. Okay, 15 seconds to get into position for the standing overhead press. Again, remember it's especially important that we are keeping that core tight as we raise so that we are avoiding doing this. Okay, we want to keep that belly locked, core tight, hips under shoulders because we are off. We've got 30 seconds on the clock before we go into our last round of this superset. So again, just as a reminder to really focus on quality over quantity, especially that straight leg lunge. It's kind of like, if you want to think about it like this, it's kind of like a single leg deadlift meets a reverse lunge, because we are leading with the hips, but we're also stepping back and keeping that foot on the ground. So we're our best form, our best focus, our best effort, because we're off in our last round. Right into the other side. This is my weaker side, but we're gonna finish this strong. Putting that weight down, we got 15 seconds to get into our last round of the standing overhead press. Let's get that core tight, hips under shoulders, ankles under hips, keeping it strong, keeping it tight, because we are off. Okay, and like that, we made it through our second superset of this workout. So we have now got just under a minute and a half before we go into our final superset. There will be no finisher at the end of today's workout because we did a little bit more single leg work, we kind of increase the level of difficulty throughout the workout so there won't be a finisher. But what we'll be supersetting for our final superset of the workout is a glute bridge with posterior pelvic tilt. So the way that's gonna look is I'm gonna show you unweighted first, really paying attention to my hips here. What a lot of people do is they will bridge up like this. Okay, again, paying attention to my hips and how my back looks. What I want you to do is I want you to start, instead of with this arch in your back, I want you to pretend that your hips are an ice cream scoop. Scoop them under, tuck those buns up, or in a glute bridge like this. This is called posterior pelvic tilt. Think of the ice cream scoop. Exercise we're gonna superset that with is going to be a press sit-up. So I'm gonna have my light weights, or you can go just body weight, but we're going to initiate it by squeezing together as if we're doing a chest press. And what we're gonna do is make it explosive so we come up into a sit-up. So just like this. Until our hands or our weights are overhead, then control the lower back down. Okay, so this is a core, total upper body exercise. It's kind of like a finisher. It's right in this superset because we're getting going, right? Hacking. Now, start with that posterior pelvic tilt glute bridge. So remember, no arch in the back, ice cream scoop, and we're just gonna press up from here. Okay, switching to our lighter weights or to just body weight, we've got 15 seconds, just under 10, to get into that press to sit up. Like that. We've got 30 seconds on the clock until we go into our next round of this superset. So something I just want to note in case you're a little bit confused about why we're doing like this ice cream scoop thing with our hips. A common mistake on the glute bridge is pressing up just like this, pushing up as if we're lifting like our belly button to the ceiling instead of our hips. The problem, anterior pelvic tilt, when we apply that to other movement patterns, it leads to quad over dominance. It can lead to more stress on your knees, all sorts of bad stuff. So we're gonna scoop it this way, keep those glutes engaged. When you're doing it right, you should feel it more in your glutes than your hamstrings, because we are off. switch on over to your light weights or to just body weight, because we've got just under 10 seconds before we are going into our press to sit up. So again, initiating it like a bench press, use that momentum to initiate the sit up, continue it through into the press, then control the lower down. We've got about 30 seconds on the clock until we go into our last variant of this superset, our last superset of this workout, because remember, we don't have a finisher today, okay? So you can bring your best effort, your best focus, your best form, all of that to this last superset, because this is all you have to do. After this, it is done. So we can squeeze in a couple more reps and we can squeeze those glutes a little harder, pay a little more attention to that pelvic tilt. I want you to do that this right through, because this is it. Okay, put the weight down, switch over to your lighter weights or to just body weight. Either is good enough. It is quality over quantity. Make sure you got the form right on this, because we are off in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go. Press to sit up. Last round. We have made it through another full body strength workout. Of course, we did tweak things a little bit today to put less stress on the knee joint, be a little bit more knee friendly. So if you have knee pain, hopefully this helped. But even if you don't have knee pain, this workout is still effective. We just changed the exercises we're doing, but as long as you're loading them with enough weight, performing them with proper form and control, this workout can be just as challenging for you. So if you enjoyed today's workout, make sure to shoot me a thumbs up and maybe comment down below if you are currently struggling with knee pain, if you've struggled with knee pain in the past, like if you know what it's related to, maybe you can share that as well, and there will be some other people in the comments who can kind of share tips or tricks or I don't know, right? Just comment down below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. I always love working out with you and sweating with you, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.